Hey everyone, it's Lauren Alvin with Adoptable Dog and Puppy Training Tuesday. This is a little fancier one. I'm gonna do some explanation to start with. I'm gonna do some video that I did with a dog, narrate over it, and then I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut in between, fancy style. But it's so I don't have to do it all in one take and waste someone else's time and embarrass myself by talking to a camera in front of other people, which is embarrassing. I don't know how you YouTubers do it. So this week is about polite greetings, jumping up. Dogs do it. It's something dogs do. When you're excited and you're a dog, you jump up. It's kind of a factory preset, in dog brains. I'm excited, boing, 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 boing. It's what I do. So our goal for polite greetings, for keeping four on the floor, is to teach a dog that keeping your feet on the floor is more effective and makes way more sense than jumping up. We want four on the floor to be their new default. We're dealing with something that comes naturally to dogs, that absolutely makes sense to dogs, and that pretty much any dog has at least a moderate to significant reinforcement history, with doing. So even a 10-week-old puppy has been jumping up on people for a while. It makes sense, feels good, they're gonna keep doing it. If your dog's a year old and they've been doing it for a year, jumping up on people, they're practicing that pattern of behavior. It's a well-worn pathway in their brain. It's something that they're going to default to when they don't know what else to do. So we're dealing with a factory preset default that absolutely makes sense and that they've been paid for in the past. We need to compete with that, which means we need to teach them a new alternative behavior. We need to prevent them from being paid for the old behavior, and we need to pay them handsomely for the new behavior. Teach, prevent, pay. So I will cut to Mr. Gus learning about just putting four on the floor when you're excited. We start it somewhere easy. We start it in a practice session. We don't start it in real life. You got to start, with your scales before you go on stage and play a sonata. So we program that set of behavior in his brain, and then we apply it to the door. So we'll cut to Mr. Gus, and then we'll come back.
So Gus is tethered here. I'm going to walk up pretty boring. If he gets it right, he gets paid. Then I walk away and come up a little more exciting. If he gets it right, he gets paid. And then we build it up and up and up and raise criteria. Ask him to make the decision to keep his feet on the floor even when he's excited and someone's patting their legs and baby talking him. That's what we're setting him up to do. We're setting him up to build the pathway in his brain of, I'm excited, someone's here and wants to pet me, and I keep my feet on the floor. If he makes a mistake, person goes away and he gets to try again. So he's learning that jumping up is not effective. What is effective to get people to pay you and to pay attention to you and to pet you is to keep your feet on the ground, or better yet, put your butt on the ground. You'll see him offer a sit at the end of this because he's practiced it a lot. And he knows it's a great way to get things that he wants. If your dog has a default sit, they don't know what else to do, they put their butt on the ground, that's a good situation to be in. So now we're raising criteria even more. I'm being more ridiculous, I'm bending over and baby talking him, I am, by all accounts, encouraging him to jump up on me. But he is making the decision to keep his feet on the floor, and sometimes even to sit, because he's a brilliant boy. I'm catching him with those decisions, with my click, I'm paying him. I'm raising criteria so he's able to make those decisions even in more difficult circumstances. We have to teach him how to make those decisions so we can prevent him from doing the other ones and pay him for the good ones. We're laying down those neural pathways. So here's another version of this game to practice. You are holding your dog, you've got a clicker and treats, and someone else comes up. This is great to do with neighbors or your kids' friends, relatives they see pretty regularly. You'll see that Gus has figured out that sitting and staring at mom is an excellent way to get paid, which is fine. Sitting and staring at mom is an incompatible behavior with jumping up. It doesn't mean that he's never going to go up and get pet by people. It doesn't mean he's just going to stare at you for the rest of his life. It just means that, well, in this instance, he's been practicing it for about 20 minutes, so he's really good at it, but he's practicing something that's the opposite of jumping up. And as long as he's got that neural pathway laid down in his brain, that highway his decisions are going to go down, then he's going to be that much better prepared in the future to stay down in a regular situation.
So while your dog is learning this new default, this new pattern of behavior, it is imperative to prevent them from practicing the old one. Sometimes it happens, you saw Gus make mistakes, but you don't want to intentionally put your dog in a situation where you know they're going to jump. If you know they're going to jump, they're gonna jump and they're gonna keep making that decision. Every time they go down that old pathway, they're that much more likely to make that choice in the future, and you want them to stop making that choice. So we need to put them in situations where we know they're gonna get it right. Part of that is lots of practice sessions, so they can get it right in situations that more closely mirror real life as you go on in your practice. The other part of that is just thinking ahead. So if you know your dog is gonna jump up when people come in the house, tell your visitors, you gotta call me when you're in the driveway, or you gotta call me when you're down the street, or you're not allowed at my house anymore. Let me know when you're here before you get to the door so that I can put the dog on leash, I can get in trainer mode, I can get my treats and my clicker, and then we practice. You can keep it by the door, so if people still won't listen to your directions and show up unexpectedly, or maybe, I don't know, your kid's neighbor friends come over or something, you can do it real quick. Let your visitors know you're gonna be in trainer mode for the first minute or two when they first come in, and this is so that you don't have to do it in the future. You're preventing them from jumping up. If you can't be in trainer mode, or if someone comes over quick, or if it's, not the UPS guy or a delivery person or whatever, put them in another room, put them in the crate, put them outside, put them somewhere where they are not going to practice the behavior that you don't want them to practice. It's absolutely fine to just, we're not gonna do it today. It's not gonna work out, I can't do it, you can't do it, we're just gonna skip it and we'll do it in practice some other time. Not every single instant can, be a perfect training session. So if you know it's not gonna work out, or you're just not in the mood, manage it until next time.
So we started off simple with Gus's foster mom coming in the door, someone he knows really well, but who he loves a lot, so it's not super duper exciting right from the get-go. I'm clicking and treating him rapid fire for keeping his feet on the floor, and I'm paying him where he sees it, right on the ground, just to kind of cement his feet there. Now we've switched it, so I'm coming in the door. Gus is on leash, his foster mom has a clicker and treats, and he is situated so that even if he does get to the end of his leash, he's not going to be in the jumping zone for whoever comes in the door. She's going to rapid fire click and treat him for keeping his feet on the floor. You'll see him look back at her because he's figured out paying attention to her pace, and he gets paid for making good decisions, which is what we're looking for. So we got some actual guests to come help Gus with his practice. You'll see right off the bat his foster mom catches him looking at her with excitement when people come in, and then he gets a little bit away from her. He gets a little excited and gets too far away. He forgets about his mom. She keeps clicking because she wants him to look back, but he's a little too excited. So what you want to do is make sure he can see you, make sure he's close enough to be able to focus on you just like that, and pay him on the floor. Then he goes on and he says his hello to the guests. You don't need to click and treat every time. The guests are paying him with attention. They're also paying him with treats. For 4 on the floor and for sits, he's getting payment by getting attention, which is what he wanted. It's totally fine. They also happen to have treats. So if your guests want to be helpful, give them some kibble, and they can be part of your training session too.
Oh, baby. Yeah. Good boy. Good job.
You'll see that Gus makes a mistake. Uh-oh. Everyone just steps back, takes away their attention. He goes, what the heck? Oh yeah, I just keep my feet on the floor. He made a wrong guess. He forgot what he was supposed to be doing. We maybe were a split second too late in paying him within his abilities. It's fine. If he made the wrong choice, we give him another chance, and we just try to be quicker next time. So at this point, I might drop the leash or have my guests come in, take off their coats. You could even take the dog's leash off if you're feeling good about their decision-making abilities, and you go about with your visit. Here's a bonus. If your dog jumps on you when you first come in the door, keep some kibble in your car or outside the door and throw it. It buys you a couple seconds, and it lets you practice polite greetings and sits right from the get-go.
Good boy, go find it. Nice. The more payments you do up front, the more training sessions you have, the more treats you have around your house to have, success stations, the more deposits you put in this account, the less you're going to have to be in trainer mode in the future. It's going to be a lot of clicks and treats. It's going to be a lot of paying attention. It's going to be a lot of deposits and reinforcements in that 4 on the floor account so that it becomes their default. Just as much as they can mindlessly jump on someone, they're going to mindlessly keep their feet on the floor because it makes more sense for them to do that. And the more deposits you put in there, the more you're in trainer mode, the more you think about it, at the outset, the less you're gonna have to worry about it in the future. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, another little quick tip. If your dog starts getting prancy feet, or someone's petting them, they're starting to get, oh my God, they're petting me, move along. Give them, you'll get to know your dog's sort of stopwatch. So if they've only got like 5 seconds of really exciting petting, then you go, okay, see ya, or nose target, would you like to see a trick, something. Help them create the patterns that you want them to have. I mean, we make nerdy mistakes all the time. Not everyone's comedic timing is perfect. It's the same with dogs. So if you see that they're starting to get a little antsy, then help them move along and make, the polite decision that you want them to make. So I hope that helps. Polite greetings is pretty difficult because there's all sorts of reinforcers that can go on all the time. And if they get paid for it ever, it's going to stick around. It's an intermittent reinforcement schedule, which means it's resistant to extinction. But that doesn't mean you can't teach your dog to keep 4 on the floor. It just means you have to, like I said, put a good deal of deposit stand at the forefront and some planning and management and forethought and help your dog get it right. So I hope that helps. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.